noise. Can you all hear me?
No, we can't. Let's go.
Well, sorry. I'll speak loud.
There it is.
Hey, here we go. So, this is only the second time I've done this, but I'm okay with it. If you guys come back in a few weeks, this will be more cohesive. So I apologize for the brokenness of it. But just a little backstory about me. I don't know many times to meet you guys. Hopefully y'all are inebriated enough to where some of this is funny. That one is, there's one.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
You're working
I was
on
in
it.
some places.
The guy playing darts in the back, he's stone sober.
Yeah,
I've
we're
been
trying
watching him
so
play
hard.
darts. He's stone sober. But obviously we want you guys to drive safely home, so please drive safe. So this is my first real bar gig that I've ever done, and it's the first open mic that I've ever. Let's give it up for Gary before he steps out for putting this together. I don't know if it's good enough to hear right now. But it's been interesting because my previous history has been back of house. I've always worked in kitchens, so like I've never really gotten to know the public. Like I've never gotten to interact with people and talk to people and have conversations like that. And I don't mean any offense to anybody in the room, but my previous history is I hate the public. Everybody is a bunch of assholes in their own way. Like there's not one particular asshole, there's just assholes.
I never pissed off the chef once. I always
Hey, I mean, you do what you gotta do, man. So this, like I said, this is my first bar gig, and I've been getting to know some of the regulars, some of the other people, and then I've noticed that there was an interesting event that happened the other night. Well, I'm just going to jump into this story. There was a woman who was here, and I got her permission to say this. This woman told me she made out with animals because I have my dog Penny here. And I was like, wait, stop right there. Just stop. You make out with animals? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, no, I just love making out with animals. I'm like, so what? Are you talking like dogs? And she's like, yeah, dogs. I'm like, cats? Yeah, cats. Horses? Yeah, sometimes. I'm like, what do you mean by making out? And what she meant was she likes to give animals kisses, like smooches on the cheek. And I'm like, that's not making out. So, but either way, it was a weird conversation. And then it turned into, well, what about fish? What about turtles? What about chameleons? You know, like where do you draw the line of the animals that you want to make out with? And I have to know this. Like it's just my brain. And if you've ever been a regular here, very much one that I will hold the bar for a conversation. Like just outside. Show of hands. All right, who likes the Kinks better than the Beatles? Show of hands. I got one. I saw April raise her hand. There's a halfway.
I'd be lying.
I mean, it's neither here nor there, right? Like you have your opinions, but I just love to hear people's opinions, and I love to hear what people have to say about a topic. And so,
Well, that woman sounds like marriage theory.
I don't know.
Some kind of animals get married.
Some kind of animals, maybe. But it's also a discussion. All right, this is another poll that I've taken. How do we feel about ketchup on hot dogs? By show of hands.
As long as there's no mustard.
I'm keeping no mustard. This man says no mustard.
No mustard. Ketchup.
I didn't hear the question.
Ketchup on hot dogs, yes or no?
No.
No.
Mustard.
But no mustard? You're from Jersey? No mustard?
It's different if it's a hamburger. If it's a hamburger, it has ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise.
Yes, if you would.
All right, well.
Okay, according to the handbook, Mr.
Again, I don't judge, but I do.
Hold on, according to the hot dog handbook, he is correct. That's paragraph 4.
What?
Page
Ketchup, mustard, mayonnaise on a hot dog?
Okay.
Oh.
You're all good. No, I'll use something else.
So I got off track. I apologize. Again, this is all broken up. I'm sorry. So if you guys were here for the last open mic, I did a bit about talking to a woman that I've been talking to, and I didn't realize that I had said it when I said it. But during this bit, I called the woman a skirt. I didn't mean to. It's an old thing of mine where random females, I would call them skirts or Susans. That was the thing. That was before Karen was fucking invented. It was well, so I had to apologize to her because she took offense. She's like, "You called me a skirt." I was like, "I didn't mean to call you a skirt. It's just the way I talk." So for the rest of this bit, I'll be referring to random females as dames, because I've gotten into like a kind of 1940s thing, like you were saying with broads. Like we talked about pet names for each other or whatever, and I call her doll. Don't know why. I just never used it before, so it's just a new thing that I'm trying with this chick. So I just kind of need to apologize to everyone for if you were here last week and you saw that. But so back to interactions with people. I had a great one the other day at Sheetz. I stopped to buy beer and cigarettes, and I was coming out of the beer cooler. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sheetz. I have the beer coolers laid out. You walk out of the cooler, have a beer, and I didn't realize the dude was talking to me. I walk out of the cooler, and all I hear is, "Well, let's start with that." This man's got a pack of Milwaukee's Best. It's a whole case. He did his research. And I was like, again, I didn't realize he was talking to me. He was like, "Yeah, look at this." Because I sometimes take the bar towels home with me because I tuck them in my pockets like this, and it's easy to wipe my hands. He's like, "Look at this. He's got the towel in his pocket. You know he got off of work. Let's start with that." And when I finally realized he was talking about me, I kind of looked at the dude, did the ocular contact, whatever. He's decked out in a red hoodie, red sweatpants, black and red shoes. He's got a Budweiser tall boy in one hand, a Bud Light tall boy in the other. And I'm like, "Well, let's start with that. Which one are you doing? You go with the full beer and then the light beer. Let's figure this out." Yeah, he's going to do the Budweiser first and then finish off with the light beer.
The other Mike at the other show, he does look like I was playing now, and I'm always like,
But so he's in line in front of
he
me.
tried to get impatient
And
from Guns N' Roses.
it just became the whole
He
thing.
can do it.
Let's start with that. Like everything he said is let's start
He can
with
do it.
that. His girlfriend would buy him some stuff, and he goes, "Well, let's start with that. What do you want?" And she walks up with a cup of coffee and a pastry. And he's like, "Well, let's start with that. What did you get?" And she's like, "Coffee and a pastry." "Well, all right, did you do your research?" What are you talking about? So after like probably 5 minutes of this, of him saying, "Let's start with that," I finally cut in. I'm like, "Dude, you said let's start with that. We have to start with a single point." And he's like, "Well, let's start with that." All right. Number one, let's start with that. And then, of course, I was laughing so much that I just gave up counting. He gets up to the counter, and the cashier is like, "So do you need anything else?" "Well, let's start with that. I need a pack of Newport shorts because they smoke better." He's like, "Did you do your research?"
Anything in mind, dude?
That was the cashier's reaction, and I just fucking immediately broke down. And so he grabs the pack and he's like, is this what you want? Let's start with that. And he's like, did you do your research? He's like, I think I did my research. This is what you asked for. And so he gets his pack of cigarettes, but I happen to glance back to the guy behind me, and he's got his hands up like this. And he's like, no, he's at 9 right now. From the time I started the count, he did it 9 more times, which I just found hilarious. And that dude was kind of the inspiration for whatever it is I'm trying to write down here. Just the one.
Like, it doesn't have
Maybe
to have
two.
all
I
that.
don't know. She
That's
was very
like
calm.
a-
She was very emotive because, hey, let's start with that.
I would just
I don't
love to
know.
sing that.
I mean, let's start with that right there. She did her research. Well, let's start with that.
I mean, like the Jim Bones.
This is great. This is amazing. Let's do some crowd. Let's start with that. Okay. You want to talk about that? I had an amazing conversation. This is. It was probably Thursday.
I've actually practiced that.
No, it was Wednesday this past Wednesday. Had an amazing
You could
conversation
do most of it.
with two women that were sitting here. I don't remember how it
There's
came
some of
up,
his shit I can't hit.
why it came up, but somehow it got me started talking about masturbation.
Yeah.
I can't tell you
Nothing, man. I can
the
do
cycle of how that started,
Good.
but that started. And I found out that this one woman who was 26 years old didn't start masturbating until she was 24 years old.
It's just a weird.
So 2 years.
Let's start with life.
Let's start with that.
Let's start with here.
Let's start with that. Maybe that, all right, that just moved up on the roster list. Let's start.
They play it. No, I can't do that.
But so, yeah, like we had this whole conversation about masturbation. And then the whole conversation now forms blocked off in North Carolina. Fucking
I'm just
stupid.
trying to learn. I can do that.
And then this is the same night about the lady talking with animals. So it's like, well, maybe you two should fucking meet up.
Yeah, that would, yeah. I can
Some
do
shit
that.
can get going.
I'm trying to learn basketball case recently.
Let's start with that.
The old Rangers.
Let's start with
Yeah.
that.
Too, like they can put out like American.
But it's like,
Like pop.
eventually the conversation, kind of like this, is
Yeah,
now
almost everything I can do.
happening. Like, where do you go
A punk.
after
Yes,
masturbation?
exactly, yeah.
Conversation. You just go to
I've
sleep,
learned, like,
right?
I have different Green Day songs and I've never played one. The only thing I've ever played is one.
Let's start with that.
I don't know why, I was just like.
I wonder, he might have done his research, man. I don't know.
It's like the line on Pearl Jam. System Tool, you know. I don't mean to do it.
Dude, I got bands like that too.
Wait, what did I hear?
I can do it, but when I get up there, I'm like, oh, blank on it. And then later I'll be driving home. Like,
Yeah, that's what I keep doing. Like, I actually learned American Idiot and
Another
Holiday.
conversation.
Yeah. I haven't tried them yet,
At
but I would love to.
midnight, one night,
American
when
Idiot's
remains
one of
were
my
never
favorites all day.
talking.
It's just like that same like do 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 do.
And there's two sisters.
It was a good album. It was definitely very safe.
One of them just says it can either be hot
And I
or
learned
creamy,
My
not
Hero
both.
about Foo Fighters.
We got to do that.
And
That-
they,
I-
and
so I can
I was
play
in the
that
room and they know my sense of humor.
If you can play it, that'd be
So
much
they
easier.
both got
'Cause
glanced at me.
That's why I didn't even try it, because
And
the
both of them
other one I
immediately
did was
were
Everlong, and I had a lot of trouble doing the chorus part of that one.
Dude, this guitar part is great.
I have another field that I have to follow up on, but that's pretty much all I got for now.
Yeah,
I hope
My Hero does
some
the
of
same
this
thing.
was
It's got a
funny.
bunch of like,
I don't know.
it's like six.
Yeah, well, let's start with that. Yeah, like I told you before, I don't. If someone doesn't give me permission, I'm not going to include them in a story. I don't do that. It's just not my style. I don't even care.
You can include my mishaps and all your.
What's the stumbling? The jail bit? I don't think you told me that. Let's start with that. Yeah, let's start with that. I got to do my research, man. Come on.
And he had his headphones on. He was like, I can't do that. He just took them all.
Well, Well, let's start with that.
Are we rolling?
You see how funny it is when you keep just repeating, let's start with that?
Are
Like,
we,
Can I incriminate myself anymore?
his name is, are we door back
well, let's start with that.
And this is my lawyer. Things don't get worse in my life. That's, I'm with representative.
But I totally have stolen that catchphrase from you. It is now mine. If I ever meet him again, I will shake his hand and I'll say, sir, thank you so much. You gave me the best fucking line that I could ever think of, that I never thought of, that I could always repeat.
Go ahead.
Well, let's start with that. All right. Go ahead with what? But I'm trying to do my research. I'll get this together. And maybe in a couple weeks this will be more better. Just more better. Thank you guys. Was it funny? A few, if I can get a few laughs, I'll get it. I think that's, I need to work properly. When I did that whole poll, that's the graph. Yeah, I mean, stuff. Yeah. I just don't have the jokes built internally right now
I'll play a couple more and close this out. Matt, you play with me.
I looked for trouble and I found it.